So now we are going to do 5.5, which says that we must determine the inverse of g in the form y is equals to. So we know that g is given as g of x is equals to 2x plus 4, right? Which you write as y is equals to 2x plus 4. So to find the inverse, we're going to swap x and y. Alright, so meaning here we write x equals to 2y plus 4, and transpose the 4 to the other side, we have x minus 4 equals to 2y, and in the right, the y in standard form, divide by 2 everything, we have y is equals to x over 2 minus 2. So this is the inverse of the function which we are supposed to write as y is equals to, which is y is equals to x over 2 minus 2. So this is the inverse of g of x. And now 5.6, we are asked to find, they say, for which values of x will the inverse of g of x multiplied by g of x be giving you equals to 0, right? So they're saying we want to find the x values such that when you multiply the inverse with g, it must give you a solution of equals to 0. So let's first present our inverse in this diagram here to be able to understand what's happening. So our inverse, we're going to draw our imaginary line which passes through the origin. Our y is equals to x, and then here, if you look at these points, the critical points, so here our g of x is 4. So if you write in coordinate form, it's 0 and 4, and then here our x, or our a rather, we found to be -2, so it's -2 and 0. So if you write the inverse, let me extend this, it's going to be here. It's gonna move like this, so it's going to pass through this point here, because here it's 4, so it's gonna swap. Instead of it being 4, it's going to be 4 in the x-axis, so it's gonna pass through this point here. It's going to be something like this. So this, yeah, I know my straight line is not straight, but this would be our inverse, our g prime of -1. So here it's going to be 4 and 0, and then it will pass at a point here. So if it's here, it's -2 and 0. Here it's going to be 0 and -2. So to find the solutions of x such that when you multiply the inverses, the y values of the inverses together, they should give you a solution which is equal to 0. So at this point here, our y is equals to what? Our y of what? Of the inverse. It's equals to 0, right? And then at this point here, our y of g is equals to 0. So if you multiply this 0 with this 0, it'll definitely give you 0. So what are the x values when that happens? So if you multiply the g multiplied by the g must give us 0, right? So meaning that, so if you multiply the g of the inverse and the g must giving us 0, so which we found to be 0 at this point. So the 0 multiplied by 0 obviously giving us 0. So what are the x values when that happens? Our x value at this point, it's x being equals to -2, and our x value at this point is x being equals to -4. So when g of x here is x equals to -4, x equals to -4, and here So the x value, it's x being equals to minus 2 here, and then this is 4. So these are actually the solutions.